Ever seen someone judged for their job and come out on top? My parents kicked my sister out for dating the garbage man, but that was a huge mistake. We had just landed when the voicemail came in. It was my sister. Her voice shook like she'd been crying. She said Mom kicked her out without warning or even a goodbye, all because she was dating someone they didn't like. My brother and I were supposed to be on vacation, but after that message, we didn't even leave the airport. We booked the next flight home. When we walked through the door, the house felt too normal. That made it worse. Mom sat on the couch like nothing happened and said my sister made her choice. If she wanted to throw her future away for someone who picked up trash, then she could go live in it. Dad just nodded and said he didn't raise her for this. They both looked proud, like they thought they were teaching her a lesson. We didn't know much about the guy yet, but even if he was exactly what they thought, kicking her out like that wasn't the answer. So I texted her and told her to come home. She showed up the next day, and she didn't come alone. He came with her in a black suit, clean shoes, and a quiet smile. At first, Mom asked if he was her lawyer, but my sister said no, this was him, the garbage man. The room went still. We sat at the table and asked real questions, not to trap him, just to understand. Was she safe? She said yes. Could he take care of her? She said he owned his own waste company. The truck outside wasn't borrowed, it was his. He didn't talk big, he just answered like someone who meant it. So we went out to see it. It wasn't like any garbage truck I'd ever seen. Fresh paint, polished chrome, the company name printed on the side with safety decals and a license number. When we came back inside, my parents were already annoyed. They said anyone could rent a suit and slap a name on a truck. He stayed calm and said he understood, then invited us to dinner with his family. Mom laughed and said she hoped we wouldn't be eating out of bins, but he didn't flinch. He just smiled and gave us the address. 2 nights later, we pulled into a gated driveway. The house wasn't just big, it was the kind of place people stopped to look at. Glass walls, trimmed gardens, lights glowing along a stone path. His garbage truck was parked neatly on the side like it belonged there. Inside, the air smelled like cedar and something baking. His parents welcomed us like we were guests they'd been waiting for. His dad shook our hands with calm confidence. His mom had a voice that made you feel like you were already part of the family. We walked through rooms filled with art, books, and quiet history. Dinner was 5 courses, white napkins, crystal glasses, silver dishes. Still, my mom leaned toward my sister and made a joke about him smelling like trash. That's when my sister stood up. She didn't raise her voice or cry. She just looked around the table and said she was done pretending, done trying to make them proud, following their rules, smiling when it hurt. They threw her out because of a job title. She said she wasn't coming back, not even for holidays. Then she sat down and he reached for her hand under the table. Nobody said a word for a while. Then his mom smiled and said they were lucky to have her, and that was it. The rest of the meal was quiet, just my parents, sitting in a mansion built by the man they once called the garbage man. 100